the last couple of weeks. It actually hasn't been that long. It's only been like 2 and a bit weeks. But for me, I don't think I've recorded an ASMR video probably in like 5 weeks, which is a long time. Essentially, I was away on holiday for 2 weeks, and I had all content prepped and scheduled for while I was away. But then in the weeks I was back, which was the last couple of weeks, I firstly just had so much to do at work, and then I got really ill. And unfortunately, this wasn't an illness where you can just kind of shrug it off and sit down and whisper for 20 to 30 minutes. I have asthma, and I had a pretty bad asthma flare up, and to the point it was kind of difficult to breathe, and therefore an effort to talk, let alone whisper, for a prolonged period of time. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to upload any videos here or on the gaming channel, so I do apologise for that, but you know, these things happen. But yeah, I'm back, and this can be the start of, or like a restart kind of thing. It was nice having a break, but I'm back for good, so to speak. I'm excited. I've planned content for the next 2 to 3 months. I'm going to be bringing back shorts and posting on TikTok again, and later in the month we're also going to be starting live streams, so keep your eyes peeled for them. So plenty to come. You'll also notice we are in a different setting today. I used this background in a members video I did semi-recently. Apologies if you can hear talking back in the background. But I recently just like redid up my cupboard. You can see here, filled with my Blu-rays and various other bits and pieces. I've got my big office poster there. I won't always record here, but it gives kind of like a nice alternative to sitting in the next room at the foot of the bed, because it means I can stand up and more easily do it here. So. But anyways, you didn't click on this video to hear my life story, but that's just an update. In tonight's video we're going back to a favourite. We're going to be reading some anonymous Reddit confessions. Always a good time, so I really hope you do enjoy. Without further ado, let's get into them. So I've organised the past week top rated confessions. We're going to work our way through some. I do apologise for the talking in the background and any background noise. I think my neighbour's having like work done or something, so there's builders next door, so it's not really ideal. I'll try my best to cut around it. So we're going to begin with this one. I'm a nurse, and this may be the worst thing I've ever done. I, 26 female, have been a nurse going on 5 years now. That's not a ton of time, but I've had my fair share of mishaps throughout my career. Currently I work as a nurse at an outpatient surgery centre. My job is to get the patient ready for their surgery and recover them afterward. During the pre-op period, we connect electrodes to a patient's chest to monitor their heart throughout the procedure and during their recovery. After the patient has had enough time to recover, we take these patches off. This is where I royally messed up. I was taking care of a woman in her early 20s. For context's sake, she was small. There are 5 patches I needed to take off as I was getting her ready for discharge. 2 are at the corners of each side of the chest, 1 in the centre, and 2 just below the breast on each side. The patient gowns at my centre only tie in the back. Some places have gowns with buttons on the sleeve which can be undone for easier access. My centre does not have this. This then means that to reach the lower 2 patches, I have to loosen the gown and reach down the front of it to get them off the patient. In this particular case, this patient was somewhat shy and did not want to be exposed. Her mum was in the room with her, and I offered her as much privacy as I could. I only slightly slightly lowered her gown so as to not expose anything, and blindly reached down to grab the last 2 patches. I pinched at what I thought to be the electrode attached to the patch. I was wrong. It was this unfortunate patient's nipple. I apologised immediately and quickly went about finishing my task while internally dying. For her credit, she did not react too much besides turning a few shades red, as I am sure I had as well. I got the patient out and sent her on her way, unable to look her in the eye, and spent the rest of the day battling my embarrassment. I told my co-worker what I had done, and the story quickly spread around to the staff, and they all had a good laugh about it. It's not the worst thing in the world, and realistically it wasn't that terrible of a thing to do, but it has definitely been the worst and most embarrassing thing I've done thus far. I mean, I don't think that's that bad. It's kind of amazing it hadn't happened before. If you're going in blind, just shoving your arm down there is a bit of a lottery, like a grabber machine. Right, this next one is, I can't stop thinking about what my dermatologist said. Yeah, weird, I know. Went to a new dermatologist recently. My old one retired, so I was assigned to this new doc. He was young and professional. He did his exam, and then at the end of the visit, he complimented me on my skin. You have beautiful skin, great colour and texture. It felt very genuine. I'm a middle-aged, morbidly obese, perimenopausal woman who never gets any positive remarks, so I soaked that up like a dry sponge. I didn't realise how thirsty I am for genuine positive compliments. It has shaken me because it woke that part of my memory that I used to be a young, attractive, thin woman who did always get complimented and attention. I've been so used to being unseen. Anyway, I guess my confession is I'm embarrassed that such a simple remark has made me feel so much. I thanked him, but damn, I should be able to move on from this. Oh man, that's really sad, but also really nice that just like an offhand comment was able to make her feel good. I'm glad that one went awesome, because with dermatologist, I was worried it was going to be something kind of inappropriate. But no, we went the wholesome route, which is good. We're gonna throw away that wholesomeness with this next one. I saw the biggest penis of my life at work. At work last week, I was helping take care of a patient. He was a man in his mid-40s. I had to help him with his bathroom duties, and he had one of the biggest dicks I've ever seen. I only saw it flaccid, obvi, but I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. I'd be so curious to see what it would be like fully erect. Fair enough. The dot reply is, I am sorry you had to see that, but thank you for the help to the toilet. I really needed to go. This one is a short one, but I agree with it. The title is, I secretly loved COVID lockdowns. Mainly I loved the quiet and the no pressure to be anywhere or interact with anyone. COVID was the perfect excuse to avoid the world. I kind of miss it. I have to somewhat agree, but only with the first lockdown that we had here in the UK. I think by the time the second and that silly third one rolled around, I was ready for it to be gone and just go on with normal life. But that first one had a bit of an exciting novelty to it, and that comes from a place where obviously very blessed that no one in my family or extended family or friends really were affected by COVID that badly. I know it was terrible for some people, but I just look back and miss Warzone Fridays. Me and my friends every Friday we'd order a ton of beer and we'd literally play in Warzone from 8 o'clock in the evening to 4 o'clock in the morning on the Saturday. And those were some of the best times ever, honestly. That's kind of why I fell out of love playing Call of Duty, because I don't think anything will ever be able to replicate those memories and playing it then. But yeah, kind of agree with that confession a little bit. Right, next up. Bead the couch at my boss's house. Next up is bead the couch at my boss's house. I'm a 41 male. Had to sleep at my boss's house last night. We had a work trip, but flight got delayed just enough where it didn't make sense for me to go home. Slept on the couch. Woke up in midstream, pissing. I was asleep on my stomach, so it was pretty bad. His wife was up and walking around the kitchen within view of me, so I couldn't get up, and I hid under a blanket pretending I was asleep, praying for her to go back upstairs. And she did, but only after his 2 teenage daughters came downstairs. Then my boss came down and the whole family was in the kitchen making breakfast like 10 feet away from me. I kept pretending I was asleep until I finally had a brief moment where I was able to jump up and flip the covers over, run upstairs, stuff my wet underwear and shorts into my suitcase and change into pants. We left soon after and I haven't told him yet. It's been over 12 hours since it happened, so his wife must have discovered it by now. So I'm wondering if she texted him and he knows but doesn't know how to bring it up. Oh gosh. I personally feel like an easy solution to this, right, to cover up the soggy sofa, so to speak, is ask for a glass of water and then accidentally spill it on the urine, so it looks like you've just spilt water all over the sofa. It's embarrassing still, but not as embarrassing as pissing yourself in your sleep, so that's the route I probably would have taken. Right. This one, what's this? It's titled Kinda Disgusting, so bit of a risky one. Who knows what direction this will go, but let's find out. When I was about 12, my friends and I were hanging out in the Catholic church parking lot on a Saturday. We were there after we went to the corner store. All of a sudden I had to take a shit. I ran into the church frantically looking for the custodian to find a bathroom. No one there. With no other options, I thought, I went into the enclosed confessional and relieved myself. I felt horrible, told no one. The next day while I was at mass, the priest spoke of the horrible abomination that had occurred. I knew it wasn't deliberate or some kind of message, just an accident. My parents shuddered and shook their heads, not knowing I was the one. I apologised to the higher power later, but to this day I still feel really bad. Like, hold it in. Or was there like a bush, like anywhere? But the confessional, like this sacred place, I think would have been better. But hey, you gotta go. You gotta go. Oh, I'm not reading that one. That was I'm leaving my girlfriend tomorrow, but it was pages and pages long. I faked being a hotel guest just to snag a free breakfast. So I'm on vacation in this charming little town in a country that's pretty poor, where everything is dirt cheap. There's this big hotel where hardly anyone is staying. So I decided to swing by and grab some breakfast. When I got there, the guy working at the hotel assumed I was a guest and told me I could just help myself to the buffet. I didn't correct him. I had breakfast, paid for coffee, and left. The next day I went back for a coffee and figured why not try for another free breakfast. After all, the food was just sitting there going to waste. But when I got to the buffet area, it was already cleaned up. So I headed to the restaurant part of the hotel and ordered some sunny side up eggs must have assumed I was a guest who missed the breakfast buffet because they brought out a full spread with fruit and other leftovers from breakfast. When I finished, I thought I should pay since I was in the restaurant. I went up to the counter and the lady asked if I was a hotel guest. Without thinking, I said yes. Then when she asked what room I was in, and I just blurted out 402, not even sure if that was a real room number. Turns out it was. She checked her list and room 402 was indeed occupied by someone named Edward, which is obviously not my name. When she asked for my name, I panicked and said Edward. She smiled and said the breakfast was included for hotel guests. They wouldn't take my money. Now here's the kicker. I'm way wealthier than most people here, but I still tried to get away with this. As I was leaving, I realised how wrong it was and turned back. I admitted I wasn't Edward and wasn't staying there. She calmly replied, yes, I knew, but that was your choice. Oh, God. That's like, I'm not angry, I'm just disappointed. I offered to pay for the breakfast and it turned out to be just $5. I didn't have the guts to mention I'd done the same the day before, so that's on me. She smiled warmly, wished me a good day, and I left feeling like a total jerk. I'm really grateful she let me off the hook initially, which gave me the chance to come clean. But why did I even do it in the first place? Yeah, that's terrible. I knew that was going to be terrible from the fact that I opened with, it's quite a poor country, and you're literally robbing these people of a living, essentially. But I guess if you're wealthy, you're just doing it for the thrill of it rather than actually getting a cheap or free breakfast. So, still terrible though. Terrible. Right, we're going to go with another urine-centered story. Always fun. I'm gross, I know, but I peed on the floor of a club. I was very drunk and waiting in line for the bathroom. There were 3 stalls for a line of about 30 people long. It took forever to get to the stalls. I almost made it before my bladder gave out and I peed my pants. No one noticed, I don't think, and I waited for my turn for the bathroom. I cleaned up in the stall and took my sorry ass home. I was 27 at the time. I mean, it would be disgusting if you were to slip and fall in it, but as long as no harm was caused, I don't think that's like that bad. Like, everyone has to pee, and sometimes queues are just horrendous. So if you've got to do it, you've simply got to do it. Simple as. Oh gosh. Okay. I accidentally saw my close friend's mum's nudes during honour roll. This happened years ago back in middle school. I was and still am friends with this girl since 6th grade, and I often visited her house to hang out or have parties there. Her dad was a substitute at our school while our mum taught at it, so I was quite close to her dad whenever he was a sub for my class, and her mum whenever I hung out at her house. I felt very close to them as middle school passed, and then 8th grade honour roll happened. Their daughter went up to the stage as she was called for an award and stood on the side for a while so she could get a picture taken. Her dad and mum wanted to be in the photo too, and me, being near them at the time, asked me to take the family photo of them together. I happily agreed to take the photo with the dad's phone and snapped a few pictures, but when I went to take a look at how the photos turned out, I swiped one photo too far and saw a photo that looked nothing like the honour roll photos. It was the naked body of his wife. The background lighting was dark with all the light focusing on her body, and that was all I could remember after registering what I had just seen in that split moment. The father was approaching me from the stage quickly, friend's mum. I had to quickly swipe to the most recent picture before her dad grabbed his phone from me, and it was the most intense 3 seconds of my life. I remember saying, "Here you go." They turned out great, with my hands slightly shaking as I handed him the phone. To this day, they still do not know what I saw, and I will never tell him. God. I like that one. That's funny. This confession is titled, "My Greed Cost Me Big. Now I'm feeling guilty." I've been wrestling some guilt lately after a betting situation that didn't go as planned. A friend of mine suggested a tweak to a sports parlay I was about to place, and his idea would have won me $5,000. But I got greedy, thinking my original pick would bring in even more, so I stuck to my guns. My pick lost, and I ended up with nothing. Now I can't feel like I should have trusted his advice, or at least offered to split the winnings with him if I had won. It's not just about losing the money, it's the realization that I let my greed cloud my judgment and missed out on a chance to share and win with someone who was genuinely trying to help me. The guilt is eating at me because I know the outcome could have been different if I had just listened. Has anyone else made a similar mistake and felt this kind of guilt afterward? How do you handle it when greed gets in the way of making the right choice? That, my friend, is why it is called gambling. Simple as that. Also, if the friend gave those options, he should have just placed the bet himself and then not told you that he placed the bet. To teach you a lesson for not taking his sound advice. Right, let's go. What's this? Oh, some of these are just like so rude, like so rude. Oh, this sounds awesome. I won $50 on bingo, and now my fiance and I will get through this weekend. We'll get money next Monday, but because of health issues, our savings ran dry for this week. I've been making bread and porridge for days so we can eat something once a day. Oh my gosh. I ran out of gluten-free flour for myself last night and was preparing to eat only porridge. I have only a little bit left, and my fiance would eat pasta and bread. I had 10 bingo points left from the other time, and after therapy today, feeling like crap, I thought, F it, I'll go use the 10 points and go play bingo. I won 40 points, and after a few games, another 10 that you can change for gift cards to grocery stores. Now we'll make it through the weekend. I'm so happy I could cry. That's amazing. That is, luck, the most deserved luck ever. And I think sometimes we don't realise just how hard some people have it, but I'm glad she was able to have that win. That's nice. Let's go. Yeah, okay. I feel bad for like alternating between this sort of wholesome deep ones and well, these ones. Bad at sex. This one's titled, "Hello everyone, I'm a 29-year-old man and my fiance and I have been together for 5 years. And in the last 2 years we've barely had sex. I feel like it's not always appropriate and we're tired. But when we do, I've become really bad and finish very quickly. I'd love some advice on the subject here." You simply just got to communicate. That's the bottom line, I think. Communicate. And just do it more. Oh gosh. Let's go for another wholesome one. "A pretty girl smiled at me for 0.5 seconds today, and honestly, I think it made my entire week better. I'm not a loner. I've just been through a few rough relationships in the past 10 years, so I've been single for a little while. I always smile at people when we walk past each other on a sidewalk or something, and most people just look down on their phones, but this girl did what I do. A quick quick glance and a genuine smile. As a guy who isn't Baywatch hot or rich AF, no one usually cares about my existence. Try giving someone a smile today, it might change their entire mood. Amen, brother. Too many people, I find this working in London, like nobody wants to have a chat. Everyone is just like staring at the floor, like avoiding eye contact. Like if we make eye contact, you'll explode. Exactly that. Just being friendly can really just make someone's day better. This one says, I have never eaten from a restaurant in my entire life. I recently started going to college on a scholarship, so I'm not paying anything. Being around so many people, I honestly feel like I'm not on the same level as them. My friends ask me to tag along for a party or just to eat out, but I can't go because I come from a really poor family. I feel like I'm missing out. I stay at home and travel to college, which is 2 hours away. I just wanted to confess how I sometimes have to pretend with my friends saying I can't come today because I'm sick or something. I feel very left out and alone. Oh man, that's really sad, but they've done a brave thing even going to college in the first place, because not a lot of people would even want to do that. And just gotta stick at it. I don't know why I reply to these like they're actually listening, but I don't know. Makes the video a bit more conversational, I guess. And let's pick a light-hearted one to finish off, shall we? They're all so rude. Gosh. This one says, I actively seek out plastic straws. Not much to say here. I'm a POS. I'm not sure what that stands for. Selfishly hating rubbish paper straws. That's all. They save the planet, allegedly, hopefully. But yeah, paper straws suck so bad. They suck so bad. So I kind of relate, but equally, we've got to save the planet, of course. But I think that's going to do it for today's video. Feels really weird standing here for half an hour whispering for the first time in like 5 or 6 weeks. I really hope the background noise hasn't been too unbearable, but if it has, I can only apologise. I needed to record now, so I apologise if that was bad. One viewer, I can't remember your name, suggested I do a confessions video, but I basically sprinkle in my own confessions throughout the video, but not tell you when they're mine, so it will kind of leave you guessing which ones are about me or not. So I think I might do that at some point. I think it'd be quite funny. Obviously, I won't be admitting anything incriminating, but still could be fun if you guys comment and see if you can guess which ones are about me. So keep your eyes peeled for that. But that is going to do it for tonight's video. I